that. Have a listen to this exchange and listen to Donald Trump give his ridiculous excuses that make him sound like a dictator.
You've gone after law firms because they've employed people you don't like, or they have represented people
Well,
you
they
don't
obviously
like.
agreed because they paid me a lot of money.
Well, the reason they agreed is because you were threatening to destroy their business with your executive order that said you can't represent clients for the federal government. That's their bread and
big
butter.
boys. These are the biggest, most powerful lawyers. These are not
You got a
people
lot of
that are
leverage as
easily
president.
intimidated.
As president, you got all the cards.
They paid hundreds of millions of dollars because they felt, I guess, they probably felt they did something wrong.
It was for survival, sir.
No, it is.
They didn't do it because they felt like they did something wrong. They did it because he was going to ruin their business. They felt like they had no other option.
He said he was going to.
Right. So, I mean, when Donald Trump, I mean, that's a dictatorship, Leonard, is it not?
Look, he was brought into court, and there were some attorneys. He ended up getting 34 felonies, and he was miserable in court. You could see that he was miserable. So in his mind, when you come into power, you start to eliminate the people who made you sit there and listen to this. All these felonies get applied. And so they don't really have much choice because, you know, you need the money and the cash to run your business.
Right.
And he has a lot of influence. And if he tells Pam Bondi or Kash Patel that this person has done something illegal, violated his rights, etc., proof or not, they're going to go and take care of it. And you got to keep in mind, a lot of these attorneys are very smart, but they have families just like me and you.
Right, of
and
course.
they have bills, and they're just regular people, and they don't feel like being hunted down is really the way they want to spend their time.
Agree. And this is the point in the interview. And let me just be very clear here. There's no reasonable person with a brain over 20 that would say 145% tariffs on China is a good thing for the American people. It's horrible. But I want you to listen to the point where Donald Trump says it's a good thing. Have a listen to this.
Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen. Terry.
No. Okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes.
And
So 145% tariffs on China, and that's
good.
basically
That's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. But they're not doing that anymore.
I want you to think of
Spoken like a true economic scholar that Donald Trump is. Quote, let's quote that one. China probably will eat those tariffs. 145% tariffs on China. The stock market is crumbling. Your 401ks are going down the toilet.
And that's not how tariffs work.
No.
China will eat their tariffs, but they don't eat our tariffs. That's not how it works.
It just makes absolutely no sense. His answer is so asinine and ridiculous. A fifth grader would know more.
Can I add this? And if callers call in and they want to add into this, I would like to know their opinion. But what people in America don't understand is we were building products, we were manufacturing, we were creating services, and people were not making enough money, some of these CEOs. So they went to other countries like China to sell their product, to make more money. That's what imbalanced the trade, because we wanted to give away our intellectual property. We wanted to sell it. Nobody stole it. We were making record profits, and China was just sitting back saying, yes, give us everything you know and all your knowledge and all your products, and we're glad to pay you. But now the economic karma has come back, and that, in my opinion, that's why it's upside down.
And by the way, if there's anybody that's eating food all day, it would be Donald Trump if he wants to talk about eating things. But that's another story for another show.
He looks like he put on a lot of weight.
Yeah. So, yeah, he looks like he does, by the way. But